What's up, Model Geeks? Hey, it's Brian, and we are doing the final for our Egg Plane build. Yay, that's finally over. So we did the Space Shuttle kit from Hasegawa, and it is the sixth in the edition of Egg Planes. I suspect that's what that's supposed to mean. I think it's kind of funny. They have a yellow dot back there in a white field, kind of giving us the feel of yolk, maybe? I don't know. You guys get the joke? The yolk? Whatever. Anyway, I have had a lot of coffee today. Yeah, so building an egg plane straight out of the box, that never happens for us. So let's just put that on the floor there like that. We had a couple of ideas to deal with this one here, and this was the first idea, which was the best idea, I guess is the best way to describe that. We knew we wanted to use the astronaut as an Easter bunny or a bunny suit, so we made some bunny ears. Oh, we should probably get a little closer to that. That's the sound effects for zooming in. So we made some bunny ears out of some pink felt, and then we just sprayed the little astronaut figure with pink prime. To me, a pink primer, perfect match for the ears. Alrighty then, and then we did some gold on the umbilical cord. And I'm sorry if it's bouncing around so much. We got the oscillating fan going because it is 100 plus degrees here today in Arizona already. So I wanted to get this egg plane done before it became hard boiled. Oh, okay, 0G. There's no up or down in 0G. So let's take a look at. We gave him a little bunny tail, a little fluffy bunny tail, and some rabbit feet. So lucky little guy. And then we're calling this particular build Payload Problems. So during the construction of this, one of the pins that's supposed to hold this particular door on broke. So that's what gave us the idea of using some combination of hot glue, super glue, and what's that transparent Elmer's stuff? That stuff is crap. So the only thing it's really good for is doing this type of stuff. We figured, maybe it hit a meteor, or there was a micrometeor strike or something like that, and it popped one of the doors off and broke the contents of the payload. I thought that was kind of a fun deal. I do have to do another coat of Future on my yoke there because it doesn't look as glossy as I want it to be. The hot glue mixed with the transparent Elmer's glue really does help give you the different consistencies that we would find inside of an egg. And the yolk, again, is a leftover googly eye piece that we had from last year's egg plane build. And you can probably expect to see this again next year because I have a bag full of these things. All right, so yeah, that's just a googly eye, and I think it's like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch in diameter or some jazz like that, or whatever the equivalent is in millimeters. But yeah, that I thought that the splatter of the egg yolk would be cool. We just took some hot glue, and we have a little hot, like a Teflon, or what is it called? Yeah, let's go Teflon. Got one of these little pad things to put the hot glue gun on so it doesn't disturb anything, and I just made spider webs with that, and then peeled up what I liked, cut off what I didn't like, and then shoved it down inside the egg, and then super glued it in place. Why didn't I hot glue it in place? Well, I was worried about the hot glue actually melting the plastic. I wasn't sure how hot that stuff got. A couple of things that I should warn y'all about. One is the decal for the raccoon mask up here. That's a hit or miss type of deal. It didn't really line up with our windshield bars that were up there, so I scraped it all off, and then just used the old standby. I hit it with a Sharpie, and then I used some Tamiya smoke, rattle can smoke, on the inside of the glass to darken it up a little bit because there's nothing to see inside of there. And then another thing I would suggest is for the tail. I really wish the tail was molded separately from the model because it's like stuck to one of the two halves or whatever. If we could have that separate from the kit itself and just have like a push-in type of deal, decaling this would be so much easier. The decals we didn't have much of a problem with. We did have a problem with one. It like snapped. and when it snapped, it literally made a snapping sound. I was shocked. I was like, I'd never heard a decal actually snap before, but it did. So it was one of the little nameplates. It was a NASA nameplate that's on the one of the cargo doors, or I should say payload doors. Because you haul cargo and payload pays for the trip, kind of a deal. Let's see here, but we're not going to split hairs and argue semantics. So the decals on the rudder went on really well. They laid down nicely, but they are a little bit small. I don't know if it's because of how I put them on there or not, but they did seem to fit just fine. Decal solvent does cause decals to shrink a little bit, so it was pulling away from the leading edge and top edge here, so we just hit it with some Sharpie. My tip for you in the future would be to these are very dark, so if you're not afraid to do that, just hit the front edge of this with some Sharpie or possibly a little bit of paint, some black paint, and then put a decal on so you don't have to worry about lining everything up and fudge factoring it too much. So that's my tip to you on this. I know there was a couple of dudes in the community that were talking about possibly doing the space shuttle for next year. And while we were goofing around with the space shuttle, we did not use the Canadarm, and we did not use the whatever the disc is it's supposed to be in there. I called it the Chrome Oreo because I painted it silver and it looked like a Chrome Oreo. So I figured maybe we ought to have a little alien spacecraft buzzing around out there. Yeah, that looks kind of fun. It's on a wire, so it's kind of bouncy also, but we'll grab him by his underpinnings there. We do have an itty bitty little alien in there. I just took some green felt, cut it into an alien head shape, stuffed it inside the little domey bit there. And the domey bit, actually, we found that in our transparent parts bucket. I'm not sure what the heck that's off from, but whatever it's off from, it must have been like a vehicle that you could turn into like a cozy van or some jazz like that. So we just glued that on the top there, and then we took an amber light and stuck it on the bottom for our power plant, and then found some wire in Mrs. BG wire stash for all of her jewelry making stuff, and then drilled a little hole in the backside here, and then just kind of, we're going to probably super glue that in place as we need to. So we have the space shuttle, the Egg Discovery, the pink Easter Bunny who is delivering, or trying to deliver Easter eggs to the astronauts, and he keeps getting buzzed by the alien spacecraft, the Chrome Oreo. All right, guys. Well, let's thank Munchkin Man 72, Munchkin Modeling Man 72. Let's get the whole name right. Munchkin Modeling Man 72 and Mr. Charlie Mack for hosting yet again another successful Egg Plane series build. And this is going to go up on the shelf with our crashed MiG that turned into a plate of bacon and eggs. So we're already getting ideas for next year. Hopefully, we won't have to steal a kit from Mrs. BG. And yeah, that about wraps it up, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. And if you've made it to the end of this video, you deserve a cookie, but not that cookie. All right, y'all, take it easy, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.